What's up, everybody? Well, I can't sleep, so figured what I'd do is I'd do a what's in my bag video. Let me start by saying that I don't wear a turkey vest, okay? I started out hunting in Texas at Fort Hood. And here in Alabama, where it's hotter than Hades. And one thing I quickly discovered on a turkey vest is it's hotter than Hades too. So by the way, Dagner Poker with some Lane Dark Red. This is pretty much my cherry pipe now. Let me put that aside for just a second though. So yeah, I ditched a vest a long time ago, and my bag is constantly evolving throughout the season, just depending on the conditions, the weather, the situation that I'm hunting. I try to carry as minimal gear as possible. And my philosophy about turkey calls is there's three main calls. There's your mouth call, and I'd usually just pop that in my mouth and carry that with me. This is my all-weather call. It's also my short-range call, okay? Close stuff, within 100 yards, I'm using my mouth call. I usually carry a slate, okay? And I usually carry a box call. Let me say, if you're a terrible caller, buy a box call and just use that. The box call, to me, sounds the most like a turkey than any call that I've got, okay? So just buy a box call and use that. And you will have success. Now, you can't move whenever they're close, but they'll come to you. But I have a pouch that I bought. This is like a hip pouch that when I get to the woods, I just wrap it around my waist and I snap it in there. And I've got my calls in here. But I don't have very many calls, okay? In the big pouch is where I carry my strikers, and I usually just carry a couple of strikers. One's a hickory and one's a cherry, okay? Now, if it's raining, what I will carry is the call that I showed you guys before. This is that aluminum tip striker with this Tony Reynolds infusion call. This thing is awesome. You'll also notice that I wrap my calls in these Crown Royal bags, okay? I do that because it keeps the calls quiet. You don't want a bunch of banging around in your vest and squeaks and rattles and crap like that going on, okay? You got to make sure that your calls are remaining totally quiet, okay? Cannot emphasize that enough. One other thing, I always carry waterproof binoculars. These are some Nikons that I've had a long time, and I always carry binoculars. Hunting Texas taught me the beauty and the power of binoculars, and even here in Alabama where it's really thick, binoculars will help you see through the brush. Okay, so carry some binoculars. But anyways, in my big pouch, I've got my box call. Showed you this, my houndstooth box call, again in a Crown Royal bag. Okay, I've got my chalk, and I've got a screwdriver, and I've got some snips. So if I get into an area and I need to snip some limbs or whatever, I've got these snips right here in my bag. I think I got them at Home Depot or whatever, and I can trim me out a spot so I can move my gun around and shoot that turkey whenever he comes in, okay? So there's that pouch. My other pouch, I normally carry, my gloves and my net, my head net. I got it out already because I'm getting ready to hunt. Another thing that I've gone to are these leafy jackets. All I've got is a jacket, okay? The bottom, I did not buy, okay? I just bought the jacket because it doesn't really matter. I mean, where I'm setting up and stuff like that, a leafy bottom is not going to help me, okay? And then the other big call that I carry is, and I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about this, but it's the very first turkey call I ever bought. It's a Billy White Slate, again in a Crown Royal bag, and it's just a walnut pot, no writing or anything on this thing. and a slate surface, and this is what I use these two strikers with. The hickory to me sounds more like an eastern hen, but the cherry striker is a little bit higher pitched and sounds like a young hen to my ears. But this call, I don't even have to condition the call, man. You can pretty much just pull it out when the light's just coming up in the woods and go to calling. So this is I do my quiet stuff on this, but I also do medium range stuff on this right here. And my box call is my long range call. So if ain't nothing happened and it's on up in the morning and I hadn't heard nothing, I'm gonna pull out my box call and I'm gonna wear that thing out a time or two, okay? But my bag is very simple. It's very lightweight. I'm just not a believer in carrying a whole bunch of gear into the woods. You know, and my gun is very simple. It's a Stoeger shotgun that I've had for probably about 10 years now. It's got a tight wad choke tube in it, and I use heavy shot mag blends. And that combination has just worked for me for a long time. I was buying blended shells when people were custom making them, and now I'm buying the heavy shot stuff, and it's working good for me. So anyways, that's my bag. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. But you know, it's that's just how I hunt. All I'm doing is just sharing stuff on how I hunt, okay? And if you like a vest and that makes you happy, then hunt with a vest, okay? But for me, I just enjoy being very nimble and lightweight, and I don't like carrying a bunch of stuff to the woods. All right, take care, guys. Good luck.